Good morning all of you. This is 12th class biology chapter 13 organisms and population, and this is lecture number 7 of this chapter. Today we will discuss about three population interactions. Those are commensalism, mutualism and amensalism. First is about commensalism. As I have told you earlier that commensalism is a type of population interaction in which one species get benefit and another is neither get benefited nor get harmed. So here these are some examples of commensalism, like orchid growing as epiphyte on mango branch. So here orchid get benefit and mango is neither harmed nor get any benefit. Orchid growing as epiphyte here. So epiphyte is an organism that grows on the surface of a plant and derives its moisture and nutrients from the air, rain, water or from debris accumulating around it, right? So this orchid is growing as epiphyte and it is deriving its nutrients from the air or water, right? So there is no harm for mango branch. Next example is barnacles growing on back of a whale. So next is cattle ergot and grazing cattle. So here cattle ergot get benefit and grazing cattle are not harmed from it, and they are also not getting any benefit from it. The ergots forage close to where the cattle are grazing. Okay, these cattle ergot are birds which forage close to where the cattle are grazing. Okay, as the cattle move, the vegetation insects come out. Otherwise it is difficult for the ergots to find and catch the insects. So here these birds which are called cattle ergot are getting benefit while cattle are grazing, but cattle are not getting any benefit from it, and they are also not harmed due to this foraging behavior of cattle ergot, right? Next example is sea anemone and clownfish. Here clownfish got benefit because here the stinging tentacles of sea anemone gives protection to fish from predators. So this clownfish got protection from predators by hiding itself in stinging tentacles of sea anemone, and sea anemone is neither harmed nor get any benefit by this. Here you can see all these examples. This is an orchid on mango tree. Okay, this orchid is growing on mango tree as an epiphyte, and these are barnacles on whale. These are ergot birds. You can see, you might have seen in some field also. So these are ergot birds, and these got their food when the cattle grazed, when the cattle are grazing in the field. Okay, because the insects become visible to these ergot birds. This is these tentacles you can see here. These are tentacles of sea anemone, and this clownfish get protection from its predator by hiding itself in these tentacles of sea anemone. Next type of interaction is mutualism, and we have already discussed that in mutualism type of interaction, both species or both interacting organisms got benefit of each other. So here these are some examples of mutualism. First is lichen, and lichen, you know, it is association of algae and fungi. So here fungal part absorb water and minerals and provide these water and minerals to the algae for the preparation of food, and in turn fungus got that food prepared by algae. So both algae and fungus are obtaining are getting benefit from each other, right? So this is a mutualistic relationship. Next example of mutualism is seen in mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza is an association between fungi and the roots of higher plants, and here also fungi help the plant in absorption of essential nutrients from the soil by increasing the surface area, because these fungal hyphae are responsible for increasing the surface area and for absorption of more and more nutrients from the soil, right? While plant provides the fungi with carbohydrates, means the plant is performing photosynthesis, so it prepare food for fungi also, and also it is providing shelter to fungi. So it is a type of mutualistic relationship. Here you can see these are lichen growing on bark of tree. Okay, association of algae and fungi. So usually these lichen grow on this bark of tree, and this is mycorrhiza, where you can see these fungal hyphae. Okay, these fungal hyphae are associated with the roots of plant. After that, next example of mutualism is seen between plant and animals through pollination, because for the pollination of plants, animals are required, right? Animals like insects, you can say, okay, those help in pollination of plants. So plant and animal mutual relationship through pollination, and also seed dispersal. So here an example is found in fig trees and wasp. Here fig species is pollinated only by its partner wasp species and no other species. So for the pollination of these fig species, its partner wasp, means that particular species of wasp is required. Okay, and both are having mutualism type of interaction, because both get benefit from each other. Now let's understand it. The female wasp pollinates the fig inflorescence, the group of flower present on fig tree. So female wasp is required here for that pollination of fig tree, while searching for suitable egg laying sites in fruits. So fig is getting benefit because it get pollinated due to that female wasp, and female wasp is also getting benefit because it get the space for its egg laying. Okay, the suitable sites are there for the egg laying in the fruits of fig tree. The fig offers the wasp some developing seeds as food for the wasp larva. So here the developing seeds of fig are also eaten by developing wasp larva. So wasp is getting benefit because it is getting its food from the fig tree, and also it's getting space for egg laying on fig tree, and in turn the pollination of fig tree is possible due to that female wasp. So this is a mutualistic type of relationship. In this picture you can see these wasps present on this fruit of fig, fruit obtained from fig tree. Here this is fig flower which is pollinated by wasp, and this is fruit from fig tree, and wasp is laying egg inside it. And while the developmental stages of the wasp, means the developing larva of the wasp get its food by eating some of the seeds of fig. Next example is found in orchids, and that is also the same mutualism between plant and animal through pollination and seed dispersal. So here we have example of orchids. Orchids show diversity of floral patterns. There are different species of orchids, okay, and different floral patterns are found. They attract the right pollinator insect to ensure pollination. So there are different pollinator species, pollinator insect species for the pollination of different orchids. Like bees and bumblebees are mostly the insects which are pollinators for orchids. Not all orchids offer rewards, okay, because all orchids do not have mutualism type of interaction with the bees and bumblebees, but some species of orchids have mutualism relationship with its pollinators. So here you can see this orchid and bee. So these bee are pollinators for this orchid plant. Now let's understand it, that how the orchid and bee get benefit from each other for mutualism. So this is called sexual deceit of Ophrys or Mediterranean orchid. So the name of that orchid species, which is in mutualistic relationship with the bee, is Mediterranean orchid, right? Here one petal of this orchid, so one petal of its flower resemble female bee in size, color and markings. Here you can see this orchid flower, and these are all the petals of this orchid flower, okay? And one of this petal you can see here, it resemble female bee in size, in its color and markings also. What is the benefit of it? The male bee pseudocopulates with the flower and is dusted with pollen. Okay, what happened here? The male bee, just consider it like a female and pseudocopulate with it. Pseudo means false, copulate means sexual intercourse, you can say. Okay, so here this male bee pseudocopulate with this flower, and while doing that it dusted with pollen grains produced in this flower of this Mediterranean orchid. Okay, when this bee pseudocopulates with another flower, it transfer pollen to it, right? When the same male bee will go to another flower to pseudocopulate, the pollen grains which have been attached with that male bee will get transferred to another flower of orchid. Okay, and this is how the pollination occurs in orchid, and the male bee is getting benefit of pseudocopulation. Okay, so both orchid and bee are getting benefit from each other. Here in Mediterranean orchid, what happened if the female bee's color patterns change slightly during evolution? Pollination success will be reduced unless the orchid flower co-evolves to maintain the resemblance of its petal to the female bee. Okay, so as you have studied about the co-evolution in host and parasite, so likewise here also the organisms which are in symbiotic relationship with each other, or are showing you can say mutualism type of relationship with each other, they also have to co-evolve, okay, to maintain that mutualism type to maintain that mutualism. Okay, so here if there is any there is any change in the color pattern or the markings of the female bee due to evolution, then the same change becomes necessary for the orchid flower also. Otherwise its pollination will not be possible, because then the male bee will not come to that flower for the pseudocopulation. That's why in this case means you can say the organisms which are showing mutualism, in that case co-evolution occur. Means if one partner is getting evolved, another will also get evolved. Here you can see this orchid and male bee. Next type of population interaction is amensalism, and we have discussed that in amensalism one species got harmed and another is getting no benefit, no harm. Okay, so here an example of amensalism is seen in case of algal bloom. You know about algal bloom, where due to rapid increase in algae population, this algae covers the whole water body, due to which many species of or you can say other aquatic organisms die. Okay, so here algal bloom can lead to death of many species of fish and other animals. However, the algae do not benefit from the deaths of these individuals, right? So algae is not getting any benefit, nor it get harmed, but one or the other species, or the you can say fish or other animals, are getting harmed due to this algal bloom. So we can say that one species is getting harmed while other is not getting any benefit nor getting any harm. So this is amensalism type of interaction. Next example of amensalism is seen in black walnut tree. So here black walnut tree secretes a chemical from its roots that harms neighboring plants, and that is also an example of amensalism. Now your today's homework is to do NCERT question number 8, 9 and 15. Now let's discuss the homework solution of previous lecture. This is answer for question number 13 of NCERT. Define population and community. So population can be defined as a group of individuals of the same species inhabiting a particular geographical area at a given time and which are able to interbreed among themselves. So here a group of individuals of same species living in same habitat at a given time is called population. And community can be defined as a group of individuals of various species. So here a group of different species inhabiting the same geographical area, okay, living in a particular geographical area is called community. These individuals can be dissimilar because we are saying various species are present here in one community, right? So these individuals can be dissimilar or similar but cannot reproduce with members of other species because different species are part of one community and these different species members cannot interbreed among themselves. This is question number 16 of NCERT. Here you need to tell that the statement which explain best the parasitism. So first statement is one organism is benefited here. So this is not explaining the parasitism. Second is both organisms are benefit, so it will be mutualism, right? Next is one organism is benefited, other is not affected, so this is commensalism. Next is one organism is benefited and other is affected. So one is getting benefit, that is parasite, and other is affected, that is host. So this statement is describing parasitism, right? So answer D statement is right.